Click the bell, turn on all notifications, and subscribe for around-the-clock WWE news in real time. The home of the most consistent and dedicated breaking news in WWE, Seanzviewent, is here for you. Like, comment, and share today.
Well, you know what? It must be morning. It may be time. No, not may. There's never may. It must be the opportunity, the choice, the chance to wake up with the brash and the brazen, because it is time to smell the coffee. It is time to get out the sausages, the bacon, the ham, the eggs. It is time to get out the OJ. Not OJ Simpson. It is time to get out maybe the hash browns. Maybe you say, to hell with that. I'll go to IHOP. I'll go to Denny's. Hell, I'll go to McDonald's. I'll go to Burger King for breakfast. But as long as you're spending it with the brash and the brazen, that's all that matters to me. Because your view is the only view that matters right here on this very website. To the delight of each and every one of you, we will always show through. Why? Because you are the ones that make this show happen. You are the heartbeat. You are the blood that runs through the body for the brash and the brazen. Seanzviewent, because remember, if it's not brash, it's never gonna last. Remember to like, comment. Remember, if you want me to stay and continue, if you want to support this channel, if you want to save my future on YouTube, remember to become a channel member today, or you can donate with a super thanks donation in the comment section of this very video with a credit card. Now, let's get into the news, the rumors, headlines, the speculation, the gossip that matters most to all of you. At the end of the day, Seanzviewent says, let's get this thing started. And it started with a monumental return. It was a return of returns in the world of the WWE. Yes, indeed it was. Because, ladies and gentlemen, not only that, but, well, before we get into the return, what about this one, guys? Joe Hendry made his impact not only at WrestleMania, but he also made his impact known in NXT last night, which is what the world saw. What a dynamic return, what a historic return, and what a week it has been for the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. What a week it has been from WrestleMania to NXT. Absolutely unbelievable. But then the hits just keep coming, because just when you thought WrestleMania was all said and done, if you thought that was it, oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, the WWE is once again serving up something even more cataclysmic, even more monumental, because, ladies and gentlemen, we would see the return from injury after suffering a significant injury, after suffering a prominent injury. Noam Dar made his return to the once yellow brand, the black and yellow brand of WWE NXT, and oh my God, was that something else. And what did you think about that? Especially, as a matter of fact, what did you think about NXT last night? What would you rate it? Did you see it? Did you watch it? Did you bother to tune in? What was the match of the night? What was the moment of the night? Did you think it was a spectacular show? Did you forget to watch it? Was it dull? Was it boring? Was it mediocre? Have you seen better? Or was it everything that you anticipated and expected for WWE NXT last night? Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Also coming in from the brash and the brazen, who said the following just yesterday: I might be done in a couple of years. I might be done in the next year. Are we seeing the final phases of Bayley in the WWE? Is it spelling the end of Bayley after what has been an historic run? And, she can't be too happy being left off of WrestleMania. Here's a woman, here's a girl, here's a female who won the Royal Rumble and then main evented and headlined WrestleMania 40, only to be left off the card completely at WrestleMania 41, which many would say was a miscarriage of justice for Bayley. For everything she's accomplished, for all her history, for everything that Bayley has done, such an accomplished female wrestler, for them to take her off the card, absolutely ridiculous. Also, viewers, fans, and subscribers, we're also receiving word this morning according to the dirt sheets, the websites, and the newsletters. Remember to like, comment, interact. Bloodsport pulled booked talent to make room for WWE stars. Yeah, you heard that right. That shows you just how important WWE stars are to the world of Bloodsport, that entity, that company, that organization. Whoa, wait a minute. Not only did Joe Hendry show up at NXT, ladies and gentlemen, Joe Hendry actually inserted himself into the NXT title picture. Is Joe Hendry going to be the first ever wrestler, the first ever superstar in history to become the TNA World Champion as well as the NXT Champion? You want to talk about making history? You want to talk about making a name for yourself? You want to talk about being resounding? That would definitely put the cherry on top of the cake from one NXT champion, Joe Hendry. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. AEW cancels completely. AEW has been canceled completely. The May 17th Collision in Wichita, because it is reschedules ROH event without warning. Without warning viewers, fans, and subscribers. Massive update on the future of WrestleMania. Orlando, Florida, drops $29 million to bring back WrestleMania to Camping World Stadium and put it back in the mix for WrestleMania. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Do you want to see WrestleMania return to the Florida area once again? Master P set to appear at AEW Dynamite in New Orleans. Stephanie Vaquer wins a brutal battle with Roxanne Perez as the NXT title scene in the women's division heats up. It is definitely a scorcher. The North American title match and more has been set and is booked for next week's NXT. Andre Chase revives Chase U on NXT in a dramatic sweater reveal. A massive cliffhanger in a huge development, a big storyline as it concerns a cliffhanger which leaves fans wondering if Lusa Crucifiano is still alive after a desert altercation in a major England storyline on NXT. Is he still alive or is he dead? Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Has there been a massive death in NXT? Is somebody passed away? For those of you that don't know, you should know. Because if you watched NXT, you would know what I'm bringing up. You would know what I'm talking about. You would know what this death entails. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, are they still the Women's World Tag Team Champions? Well, you're damn right. They are still the Women's World Tag Team Champions, as it was a hard-fought match during last night's NXT. The five-time former WCW champion sucker Booker T denies that he fell asleep or that he was sleeping during the WWE Hall of Fame last night. Also, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news. We got some sad news to report on this morning as Tama Tonga sidelined with an injury that could require surgery that could put Tama Tonga out for the foreseeable future. He is benched. We don't know when we will see the return of Tama Tonga. It could be 3 to 6 months or longer for the return of Tama Tonga, who was believed to have had some sort of big match going into SummerSlam. May not happen now. Breaking news on AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. WWE actually planned AJ Styles versus Logan Paul long in advance. It's all about long-term booking, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news on CM Punk and Roman Reigns. CM Punk and Roman Reigns' WrestleMania 41 plans were in a major flux. Yes, indeed, they were in some major flux. Also, remember that story one time before this whole UFC, WWE, TKO partnership being bought out? Remember when Disney, and if you look it up, do a simple Google search, it's all over Reddit, it was all over the websites, the newsletters, the emails. Disney buying the WWE, Disney purchasing World Wrestling Entertainment. Would have that been better? Does Disney want to get back into the game, back into the mix, and buy WWE from TKO? What would the future of the WWE look like if Disney actually bought out the WWE from TKO? Would the WWE be interested? Would the WWE be invested in something quite like that? Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions. Does Disney want to get back into the mix of professional wrestling? However, if it's not WWE, if they can't offer the kind of money, the kind of sustainability, would Disney be wanting to buy TNA? Would Disney be interested in buying NJPW, ROH? You just never, ever know, ladies and gentlemen. Would have been better if Disney bought out WWE instead of TKO. Breaking news on the visionary, the revolutionary Seth freaking Rollins. As he says, Seth Rollins says the following: "We control everything." That is what Seth Rollins has declared after teaming up with Braun Breaker, being a new Paul Heyman guy. WWE actually had a major planned match for the Wyatt Six at this year's WrestleMania. But as we all now know, WrestleMania has come and gone. It has come and went. However, there was going to be a major match. It was going to be the Judgment Day versus the Wyatt Six at WrestleMania. But as we all know, due to injuries, due to storylines, due to angles, due to changes in the plot, that did not go down. However, we could expect this at WrestleMania next year or SummerSlam. It's hard to imagine that the Judgment Day as a team, as a cohesive unit, would even last until next year's WrestleMania. WWE Survivor Series set 2025 this year in November, set for the first ever stadium show in San Diego at Petco Park. Jacob Fatu, the brand new reigning United States heavyweight champion of the world, claims that he hasn't even scratched the surface after a massive WrestleMania title win. Your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions on the future, the projection of one Jacob Fatu. And remember, if it weren't for you, there would be no show. And we always come through when the lights are on bright. Remember to subscribe. Remember to check out my channel hourly for all the details. Don't miss a moment of Seanzviewent as we keep you in the know on all things WWE. Plenty more to come. Stay tuned.